Good evening, YouTube family. Welcome to another Two Family Homestead live stream. Woo!
Evening, everybody. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I don't think we did anything around here, did we, this weekend? No. We stayed in the last 2 days, which is fine. I think Saturday rained all day, didn't it?
We went to Roscoe Village.
Yeah, that was Saturday because Sean was here. I had to get out of the house. We went
You
for a
were
ride.
stir crazy, so we had to drive all over the state.
Wasn't the reason why I needed to get out of the house. It was granddaughter related. Gossmania, how you doing? Beehive, Paragon, gosh, Geeky Gardens. Mike's not on? Whose mic isn't on? TJ, who can't you hear?
Try it again.
They can't hear us. Can barely hear me. Can you hear me now? From South Australia. Oh, you probably don't want to hear me, Mama Z. That's probably why.
Check, check, check. Okay.
Does he have my tone? Does he have my mic on now? Up, thumbs down.
Yeah, it's on. I just got.
Oh, that's better. Okay.
I got
Okay.
too
Okay.
much other things changed over here.
Okay. Thank you. He was just trying to tone me out, and he figured he'd take the mic away.
360 Homestead.
There I am.
That was just a change, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was something that was just discussed.
And it was a change because Jason, Big Bear, gave them that idea. Uh-huh. Yep.
So we have a new channel in here.
Well,
Well, a new name.
a new name. Mm-hmm.
A new name.
Exactly. Yep. Yep. See, thumbs up. Can hear me now. That's probably may not be a good idea, huh? Me quiet, Tony. That would be a first. Got to remember, Tony, I come from English blood. English, Russian, and Polish. Nothing quiet about this lady.
I'll say. I agree. I concur.
I know where you sleep.
That's why I'm concurring from all the way across the room here.
The Rusty Pepper. Gosh, that name sounds familiar, Daryl.
You think so?
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Allie. I asked you if it was something that's going to go poof when I open it up.
Okay. As
So-
long as we're talking about name changes,
Okay.
the Rusty Pepper that's in here was formerly known to everybody in a different life
In a different life, right?
as
Pepper Mathis.
Pepper Mathis.
See, I remembered.
Yes.
Yes.
So Pepper Mathis is now the Rusty Pepper. Spent a little bit of time with her today and
Right, Allie.
and helped her actually, I'm going to say, start her channel.
Mm-hmm.
She created a very short video. I got that uploaded. Helped her create a banner, a little bit on the About page. So if you get an opportunity,
Yeah.
the Rusty Pepper, go check her out. When I left her late this afternoon, she had 1 subscriber. So I'm sure that she would absolutely love to get 3 or 4 more this evening if anybody would feel so fit as to do that.
And then we have tonight's guest.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
All the way from, I know where. I'm
Go
looking
for
at-
it. No, I know where.
Yeah, all the way from Washington. The state of Washington.
Yes. Yep.
Hopefully far away from those towns where they were having issues out there.
Oh, yeah, really.
I hope. I don't know
Yes.
exactly. Well, let me find out.
Rusty Pepper likes the banner.
Great.
He did a good job, didn't he? I think he did a good job with your banner.
Okay,
Yes.
well let's bring our guest out.
Yes. Angela, Practical Modern Homestead.
You are live and on the camera.
Hi, everyone.
So, Angela, tell us a little bit about you, about your channel, about your location out there. What what can people learn from Angela?
Well, I live in a house with my adult kids right now. I got roommates. And so we live about an hour to an hour and a half south of Seattle. So we are not near where they were having all those problems. We're out in the middle of nowhere. We don't even have a traffic light in our town. I work full-time as a real estate broker. I own my own real estate brokerage, but I also grow a full-blown garden. I have 2 cows and 2 steer calves, and I have my dog and a parrot. Pretty much, I planted my whole garden this year with a broken leg and managed to do really well.
Okay, I've got to ask, since you brought this up, how did you break your leg?
Well, I fell down a rabbit hole, believe it or not.
So you were just out gardening and stepped in a rabbit hole and broke your leg.
Yep, I stepped off the front porch to just walk around the side of the house, and the rabbit had tunneled through there, and I fell right in it and kind of threw me off balance and broke my leg just above my ankle.
Well, hopefully you had the rabbit for dinner.
I couldn't find it. I couldn't catch it then. They're fast.
So you mentioned you have cows and stuff. Any chickens?
No, the chickens didn't move with me. So I didn't get a chance to get new chickens this year because I felt like, with the broken leg and still working full time and already starting the garden and having the cows, I really needed to focus on what I could manage. And so chickens will be coming in the spring. I'll start that over again. I did manage to build a polytunnel greenhouse and get that completed all by myself right before I broke my leg. And that's a video I'm actually working on right now in order to put out there. I think what people can learn from me is at 55, I can do this still by myself. You don't need to have a bunch of people to help you. You can just take on what you can. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way as far as how to grow your vegetables, when to plant things like that. I think people could learn from me. But yes, even with a broken leg, I grew enough for the whole year.
Well, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, we've had you on here before, so you're not a rookie at this.
No.
And I know that before you had mentioned some things about, I'm going to say seafood. I'm going to
Yeah.
oysters or other crazy things. Is that something you still do?
Yes, I do. There are public beaches that you can go get oysters and clams and things like that. And yes, I still do have friends up in an area very close to where I can go out and get clams and oysters and shrimp and crab. I'm working on getting my boat this year. And so I'll be able to do that on my own as well. I've got all the equipment that I need for crabbing or shrimping or clamming and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I do forage for all those things, and I forage for mushrooms, and yeah, I do a lot of foraging like that for seafood and.
Okay, I'm going to let you talk to her while I get the phone lines set up.
Well, everybody in here, Angela, is saying they thought you were younger than 50. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. It's funny how just in this past year, as I've started my new journey, I've lost 40 pounds. My skin looks better. My hair looks better. I'm happier. Yeah, sometimes being on your own can be a blessing.
Change is good.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I can attest to that. Yeah, Jane and
You look
Beltray.
fabulous, by the way, Sherry.
Oh, thank you. Still a work in progress. Hello, in the kitchen with Karen. Welcome. She lives in the state of Washington, whereas
Yeah,
we
I'm
live in the
Rain-
state of confusion. She lives up in Washington. Oh, and Rosanna is in Washington also. She said she's just a few blocks from the water and crabs are plentiful. I think that would be awesome to go on the beach and be able to find all that stuff. That'd be so neat. Oh, Tony, you go get some sleep. I know it's ungodly hour there in England. 2:08. Yeah. You go get some sleep. Thanks for stopping by, Tony.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
I want to jump in for just a second. So when you get this stuff off public beaches and stuff, do you have to have like a fishing license?
Yes, you have to have your fishing license with a shellfish rider that you pay for. But seriously, it costs about $100 a year. And for even just to take your limits, you're getting way more than $100 worth of seafood in the end.
Wow, I bet. Wow.
I particularly love oysters. So
That's one thing I could never tolerate. Just, no. Just can't do it. But scallop, shrimp, lobster, crab, yeah. I'll take all that non-kosher stuff. So if you have a question, put them all in caps. Daryl is getting the phone line ready. Oh yeah, Trip H, those shorts are something else. I'll tell you that much. And I speak, not to take away from our guests, but I did find a program just to do the shorts, to edit the shorts and to upload them. So I want to check into that. Yeah, Dee, it's easier to meet the boats as they come in with the fresh seafood. I'll go for that too. Yeah. Oh yeah, Dee, I'm with you. Shrimp and scallops. Yeah. I'm ready. Petway Family Farm wants to know, how do you like your oysters?
straight out of the shell.
Ugh.
I think they refer to that. Don't they refer to that as snotty?
Yeah, ugh, that's why I can't do it.
Yeah, they're so nutritionally beneficial for you that way because you're eating them basically almost alive. But yeah, I also make oyster Rockefeller, stuffed oysters, baked, cook them over a nice bonfire. There are so many ways to prepare them. You can, deep fry them. You can batter them and fry them up in a cast iron pan with some butter, panko on them, all kinds of ways to eat oysters.
Jason, you like them right out of the shell also? Yep, straight out of the shell. Yeah, see, Dee, you and me both. Yeah, I always knew there was something strange about Jason. Now we know. Oh, with some hot sauce. That's probably the only way I'd be able to get them down. And then it still wouldn't stay there. No.
Okay, we have the phone lines open now. If anybody'd like to call in,
Teresa likes them raw and half shell with lemon.
the numbers are scrolling across the screen. Just call either of those numbers. Have to enter the meeting ID and the password, and that'll put you into a waiting room that I will admit you, and then we'll say, "Hey, this is Daryl. Who are you?" And at that point, you are live.
Country Homestead Preacher is asking, do you use any fish for your garden?
Oh yeah, the fish heads and the guts and things like that. I'll go into the compost, or I'll just bury them in the raised beds sometimes. Sure, yeah, why not? Use all that good compost for sure. Also, oyster shells, clam shells, things like that don't go back. If I'm not at the water, I'll throw all of that in there too. They have all kinds of trace minerals.
Just reading some of the comments here about people eating oysters. That's going to be the topic of tonight's conversation.
Oh my goodness. So are you originally from the Northwest? I guess is that the best way to say it? Northwest.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, are you originally from there, or are you from Florida or someplace, or?
I am from South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, in fact, and was born and grew up my almost my whole life there. I spent a couple of years in upstate New York, and I've spent quite a bit of time in Ohio with my first husband. And I moved out here in 2007 because I had just fallen in love with nature out here, all of the trees, the lakes, the beaches. I mean, it's just the land of plenty. It really is. And the winters are mild.
Are they?
Yeah.
I would have guessed that to be. Is that because you're so close to the ocean?
Partly, but it's also because of the Olympic mountain range is between the ocean and where I live. So there's the cold weather comes up over the top of that and just sort of misses us.
Oh, that's right. Isn't there some volcano or something out there? Some mountain that blows up every now and then, or?
A few of those, actually. Mount St. Helens,
Yes.
Mount Rainier,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mount...
So are you close to any of those?
Oh, they're a couple hours away.
That's not far enough, is it?
Mount Rainier.
That's not far enough away, is it? I mean, if they decide to get active, you probably lose skylight.
Probably from the ash, we
Yeah.
would lose skylight. But we're just outside the lava zone. here.
So you have two reasons to have mass.
The Rusty Pepper's asking, how did you end up in such a cold area?
It actually doesn't get really cold here. Normally our winters stay around just above freezing. It'll dip into freezing overnight, and then we might have a week of frozen weather with snow or 2 weeks of that of winter. So it's really not so bad. And I have never seen the temperatures go below the teens here.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Yeah.
actually,
City Girl Country Heart is asking, how much land do you live on?
right now I am on 2.5 acres.
Okay, we have a caller. So let me let him in the room
I'm
here.
afraid to find out who it is.
This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Hello, my friend. It is me.
Terry, I knew who it was going to be. Oh,
I love with the raw oyster too. Just
with hot sauce, right,
very-
Ahmed?
it's very good.
Very good.
No hot sauce. No hot sauce for me.
Angela, I'd like to introduce you to Ahmed. At this point, he's Ahmed.
Hello.
He has a dual personality. Naturally,
No, there's so many of no. We're not dual. There's lots of us here.
there are lots of you there, yes. Naturally, NC is asking, what is growing behind you?
Oh, this is my little basil garden.
Cool.
We eat a lot of fresh basil, so I just keep it in the garden window. And I have a grow light here that I turn on at night, but I turned it off because the backlight wouldn't be so
Is
good.
that to garnish your scallops?
Oysters.
Yeah.
Oysters?
Garnish your
Pesto
oysters.
or
I-
tomatoes, capris.
I used to have a garden window.
Yes, I know.
Never was installed, but I used to have one.
And I make my own fresh mozzarella as well. So that's something I
Oh,
do from time
cool.
to time. Having the fresh basil to go with that and some nice tomatoes and some balsamic vinaigrette. Yum. Nice
Wow,
little salad.
that does sound wonderful. Go ahead, Ahmed. Are you still there, Ahmed?
Ahmed.
Hello. She was talking about she made the mozzarella, and I was like, oh, that's good.
I thought maybe you were out shooting squirrels or something, Ahmed.
Oh, no. I was wondering if you saw that.
Yes, I did.
That wasn't Ahmed. That was Billy Bob from Meal Team 6.
Billy Bob from yes, I did say that. I did see that. I thought it was Bear Team 6.
No, we're fat. We're Meal Team 6.
Hey, Darren, how are you? Allie Oakley is saying fresh mozz. Do you use rennet?
I don't. In fact, I have a recipe that I make it just from things that you have in your own kitchen, just with milk and some other items. I'm going to do a video about it pretty soon here. So then
Y'all need to warn her about saying milk so much because Trip H is in the chat box.
That's true.
That man's liable to go crazy.
Yeah, Trip H, also known as Kyle, he can drink a gallon a day. In fact, he does drink at least a gallon a day. Mm-hmm. Yep. Still a growing young man. We'll just leave it at that.
He comes around and cows run. You would think that from being from Arkansas, other livestock would be nervous, but not with Kyle. It's just a cow.
Oh, Lordy. No, does she have a video, Terry, about making the mozzarella? Not yet. She said she's going to. Oh, you're back. Okay. Oh, he already had his limit for the day, so no more milk for Trip H.
Mm-hmm. I don't believe that, not one little bit.
Until before he goes to bed.
That boy's hanging out at the Dollar General.
Get me a gallon.
Can I give you a couple of dollars? You get me some milk?
Okay. Well, Angela, I have a question for you. You say you're a couple hours, I think she said, away from Seattle?
It's about an hour, 20-minute drive.
Hour, 20 minutes. Okay.
South.
So where you're at, I mean, I get the impression you indicated what? Don't even have a stoplight. So are you like out in the middle of like nowhere type thing, or?
If the electricity goes out there, you can see nothing but the moon and stars.
Oh, I'd like that.
Okay. So so then my next question leads to, seeing as how you're a little bit removed from the city life or utilities and stuff like that, I'm going to make the assumption that you do a little prepping on your own.
Oh,
yes,
boy.
I've always done some prepping, even in Florida, because we had so many hurricanes.
Sure. So
I've always got, for light, I've always got the hurricane lamps, I've got candles, I've got tons of batteries. I have a generator that we can run. We're not off grid here. We do have a propane fireplace and the propane for that.
So when the entire country was out of toilet paper, you were in good shape.
Oh, I live so
I was
far
just going to ask, Sherry, did you warn her when he gets on this kick?
No, I didn't.
You should have warned. That's like your only job, Sherry, is to warn these people.
He's over there chuckling. You can't even. He doesn't even have himself on the screen. He's just over here and has his head down, just chuckling.
I want to know what she does to keep herself looking so young. When she said she was 55, I was like, what? I thought I was older than her.
I eat oysters raw.
There you go, Jason.
It's not working for me.
Jason, you have to go pull them out of the ground yourself.
I do my best to take care of myself. I eat 90% organic food because I grow most of it myself. And, I exercise. Honestly, I dance a lot. I don't need to go to the gym for that. And gardening is a lot of work. I don't have to chase my cows. They come running up to me like giant puppies when I go out in the field. So.
Well, how long of a growing season do you have there?
It's about 3 to 4 months, depending. But having the polytunnel, and I usually make like a greenhouse within the greenhouse, so I can start my seeds early. I usually start my seeds sometime around late January to late February. So I try to get an early start on getting things going with the grow lights and, the little seed trays and all of that. I do some seed saving as well. So, that's not something that's going to affect me too much as far as, having plenty on hand to get started. I'm already thinking about what I'm going to plant in the garden for next year. So yeah, I think starting early in the window really extends your growing season, and having the polytunnel type greenhouse that I have with raised beds in it really helps quite a bit too.
How large is your garden?
It is not quite as big as the one that I had before, but it's probably about, almost the size of a city lot. So I'd probably say like a quarter of an acre. Plus we've got a bit of an orchard here. We've got cherry trees, apple trees, pears, plums. We've got 4 or 5 different varieties of plums and apples. And we've got raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries, all kinds of things like that too. Grapes.
Rosanna, who's also in Washington, is asking if you have a problem with slugs.
I did at the end of this growing season. And it was just to the point where it was almost done. We're about to freeze, so I didn't bother buying beer for them, because that's something I don't drink and don't have around anymore.
So
see, she doesn't drink beer.
I
That's the difference.
Like beer.
I see the
I
naked.
know how to make it though.
I see the naked gardeners are in the chat here, but out of Northeast Georgia, I wonder if they're visiting somebody.
No, remember he has a job there, so he's in Georgia quite often.
Okay.
Sydney is.
Okay.
No, Thanksgiving's Thursday. He's trying to mooch.
Oh, he wants to come sleep on your couch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and Apollo took a big fat nap last year.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's going to say it was all photoshopped.
Yeah.
And you said you make your own beer?
I do know how to make beer. I know how to make wine. I know how to make cordials. And truth be told, I know how to make hard liquor too if I were to have a still. That's something that was not mine, so I don't have that now.
Is it
I can make all kinds of cool stuff.
is it legal for you to do that out there?
Yes, it is. For your own personal use.
Oh.
Hey, what was that guy's name that was out there? Fake news. Out there in Washington State that used to run around all the time going yeesh out there, and he lived in the rainforest or something out there. He was all over. Like the girls used to love to watch him when they were little. Oh, he had that reality TV show. He claimed he was a Marine, and his daddy was a Marine.
You're going to have to go
He
Google it.
He ran around barefooted and wore buckskin clothes that
Tarzan?
some girl made for him. Huh?
Was it Tarzan?
He's
No,
gonna,
I don't even know why I even stopped talking.
I'll slap him for you, Jason.
Mick Dodge, there it is. Stringfield Ridge got it. Mick Dodge. So how close are you to Mick Dodge? See, these are the real questions you have to ask, Daryl.
Well, that's why you called in.
She's probably going, who is Mick Dodge?
I know Rain Country knew him. She's like, yeah, that show's all fake because we see him in the store all the time.
Okay, Angela,
Yes.
you are probably fairly close to Wrangler Star.
Yes.
Oh, goody. How exciting.
I'm sorry.
So am I. I'm sorry. Did it show?
Well, I mean, he was the first homestead channel that had 1 million subscribers.
He actually is one of my subscribers.
There you go.
He was one of my first subscribers, in fact.
Wow.
But
And has
we have
commented on a few of my videos, sure.
But-
Yeah, he's
but we
about 2.5 hours from me.
the
I'll
first
actually be up in his neck of the woods right after Christmas. I'm going on vacation.
cool. But we have the first YouTube homestead channel right here on the phone.
One of the first.
That's right.
Yep.
No, the first.
The first. I said it.
first.
I said it correctly.
Well-
I said it correctly.
I mean, that's.
Hey there, Cleveland. How you doing? Oh, somebody asked. Let me go back. Oh, Trip H. Kyle, have you ever made elderberry cordial?
You know, I have several elderberry trees here on the property, and I was going to make elderberry syrup and elderberry cordial this year, but I got so busy at work, I just didn't have the time, and I wasn't climbing ladders for that. So that's something I would like to do next year if possible. You know, climbing a ladder with a broken leg is kind of not smart.
Oh, Lord, yes.
But I would love to do that, and I know how, I just haven't done it on a video for you.
So what are your plans for the next couple of years where you're at there?
Well, actually, the house I'm staying in right now belongs to my mother, and she's down in Florida, and I'm out looking for my new homestead. And
Elberton, Georgia has a lot of land, cheap.
Yeah, this is 2.5 acres, and I actually own another property that has 2 houses on it with 2.5 acres, but they're rented out to other families, so I'm not just going to go kick them out and move in. But I'm looking to buy another property. I'm actually open to moving, you know, far from here if I find something nice for the right price.
So
Elberton, Georgia is good to go. Just saying.
Thank you.
I need friends.
And there's a piece of property right up the street from them, have 78 acres, correct, Jason?
Yep.
Yep, for a decent price, too.
Yep.
Yep.
Come on down.
Rosanna wants to know if you're going to stay south.
Oh, I wouldn't go any farther north than this, no. I am still a Florida girl, and, you know, when it gets cold, I've got to make a fire to stay warm. I'm not somebody who's looking for 6 feet of snow all the time.
Me neither. I'm tired
Yeah,
of
and
it.
I actually started gardening many, many years ago. I was young and stupid, and I smoked cigarettes, and so when I decided to quit smoking, I traded smoking cigarettes for gardening, and that's what got me started. Because there's always weeds to pull, something to do with your hands. So I learned to garden in the South with tropical gardening.
but if you stop smoking, you lost a market for your weeds that you were pulling. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that's legal to grow here too.
360 Homestead is asking if you have cows on 2.5 acres.
I do, and I have to supplement with purchasing round bales. I've got 2 cows and 2 steer calves. The steer calves just turning 18 months mid-December. And so they're getting to where they're almost as big as their mamas, but they're still nursing, so they're keeping them in milk production. They're just as cute as they can be, and they're so gentle. I mean, they push each other around, but when I'm around my cows, they're super gentle. They don't make too many sudden movements, and they're pretty great. I have a lot of fun with them.
So I do just want to remind everybody the phone lines are open. Please feel free to call in.
Except you, Sydney.
And feel free to call in, ask questions, ask our guest questions, or ask other questions. Mm-hmm. It's somewhat of an open forum, and we just all have a good time here. So
Anyway, I also do things like fermenting, dehydrating. I do tons of canning. I love to cook. So when I plant my garden, I really keep that in mind, to have all of my favorite ingredients on hand. I was sitting on my back deck with a broken leg and some seed packets and decided to plant myself a portable herb garden in those black round 3-gallon pots, and so those are all just taken off rather nicely. You know, starting everything over again has been the biggest challenge of this year, but I've made pretty much headway there, you know, with the exception of the chickens, really.
So I see Mama Z is asking, what are you going to do with your cows? And I must have missed something if you said you were doing something with them.
So far, I've just, had the female cows for just to make the steer calves, and the steer calves are the purpose for them is ultimately freezer camp.
Okay.
But I love them. I do. I love them. They have a charmed life. They get all kinds of lovely treats and apples, and they love bits of broccoli out of the garden. When I go in my garden, you might see I put a post on Facebook. I always feel like I'm being watched when I'm in the garden because they all come up and stare at me until I give them something yummy to eat. They live a charmed life, and I like knowing where my food comes from.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something that is foreign to me. This has been, I've got experience with, growing my own food, meat and otherwise.
Cool.
Now, do you butcher your own food, or your own food? I mean, do you butcher the livestock as well, or do you?
No, I actually, the butchers in the
Control
past.
yourself, Jason.
So
Well, you could have butchered that question.
I'm a lover and a nurturer. I'm not a killer. I just can't do it. I can kill my plants to eat them, but that's about and I can even kill the oysters and the clams, okay, or maybe a fish. But when it comes to that, no, I'm attached to my animals.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hire that done.
Sydney, the Naked Gardener, is asking, what is your favorite thing to ferment?
I do quite a bit I do kombucha, I do sauerkraut, I've done kimchi once or twice. Basically anything. I don't have room for it. I'm going to find a way to preserve it.
Okay, and we have another caller here, so let me let him in the room. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
This would be the milkman, I guess.
The milkman.
Oh, it's Kyle. Here, I thought it was you.
I knew it. There was going to be one. There was just a couple of motors that I knew there was going to be calling in, and he had one of them.
Yeah, and I thought it was the one overseas.
No, he had to go pee, I think.
No, he's right there.
Yeah, well, a minute ago, somebody said something about him coming in here, and he's like, I got to pee first. So, you know how them Aussies are. They got to walk 20 miles to be able to go pee.
I don't think they're allowed 20 miles out now.
No, they get about 10 feet out the front door and the squad car pulls up.
God.
Get in there.
Yeah. So what are you up to, Kyle?
A glass of milk.
A glass of milk.
I have had one glass of milk today.
One?
Just because it was a quart jar filled to the top.
I was going to say, did you use my milk mug that I gave you?
No, I drank out of that last night, so it's dirty and having issues with the kitchen sink, so it hasn't been washed yet.
I'm not touching that one.
Probably a good thing.
I got home from work and both sinks were full of water, so I've been fighting with that.
Because I think your wife could beat me up.
Probably could, or she wouldn't cook for you anymore.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, because that was one awesome meal she made in that crock pot last year.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. In fact, I gotta find the recipe.
Robin
She made a video on it.
I remember
Robin
that.
was like, "Did you really like that?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't like it at all."
No.
Yeah, don't like it at all. As you sit there licking the spoons.
I was going to say he was out there with his head,
Like my
head
third
in the
bowl when
crock.
she asked me, "What you having 3 bowls for?" I'm hungry.
Angela, what's your favorite thing to grow in your garden?
Oh, wow. Actually, I really like peas. They're so easy. As long as you just block the birds from eating the sprouts. But I love to grow everything. Tomatoes, peppers. I grow a wide variety of peppers and tomatoes. Those are mostly in the greenhouse. Zucchini, cucumbers, cabbages, anything. I'd love to grow everything. Anything that a person would eat. Green beans, carrots, potatoes.
Yep.
Turnips, rutabaga.
Don't give Sydney your address. You'll never get any of your vegetables. You just named everything he ate at my place out of my garden.
Is that
Oh,
what he's
I grow corn.
when he says I'll go out and help you harvest, but he never comes back in the house?
Yeah, and he never grabs a basket. He just puts everything in his mouth. But what? Listening to her talk now, Sherry,
Yes.
you'll be able to get with me on this. Listening to her talk, why do I feel like Doc Brown came in, scooped me up, we got in the DeLorean and went to the future? Because doesn't she sound like a 55-year-old Ladessa?
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is Ladessa. Especially as soon as she
Yeah.
said peas. My favorite thing to grow is peas, and Ladessa was the first person that came to mind. Yeah, Jason's youngest daughter. Last year, she had peas growing, and you didn't touch them. Those were Ladessa's peas. Yeah,
We can't keep peas and kale in the garden.
yeah.
Lacey just eats the fire out of them.
Jason, did you see Sydney's answer? He said you said we could harvest the peas, never said how to harvest them.
You know, somebody that's a gardening channel, you would think they would already have that figured out.
Oh. Oh my goodness. And to think we're all friends.
No, we're not friends. We're family.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's why we get to talk about each other like this. I wouldn't. I
It's
wouldn't.
scary thinking about some of us, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk about somebody's being addicted to milk if they weren't my family.
Well, at least I represent Big Bear Homestead most of the time when I'm drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's just because that's the largest glass I have in the cabinet. And Tasha won't let me drink out of the jug.
When you picked it up, your wife's eyeballs just went, ooh. She knew exactly what was going in there. It was like the first or second time I met Kyle, I was like, man, that's a great beer mug. And he's like, I'm going to put milk in it. I'm like, what? So you got to imagine, Kyle's no small boy either now, okay? Kyle's a big old boy. And he's from Arkansas. So I thought I was going to relate to Kyle about beer. No, Kyle said, no, I put milk in it. Milk? What?
Yep.
Well, hey, doctor told me I needed to watch my weight. I told him I got to get it out there where I can see it a little easier.
Oh, jeez. Touche. That was good. Yep.
Actually, I'm going down in weight, so not quite as fast as Tasha is, but I am losing some.
Sydney, I really don't think that's what they said. Sydney says they said they needed to get rid of the peas, so I said challenge accepted.
That's true, not what was said.
That's what I said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a feeling. He sort of rolls it into what he thinks is acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Tori even fussed at him.
Oh, that's okay. You should have seen him this past August in Missouri. Oh, that was too funny, the two of them. Yeah.
See, we all love Tori, and we just put up with Sydney.
So, Angela, let's get back to our guest here tonight.
Oh, look at him. Good job, Kyle. Get us in trouble.
No, nobody's in trouble. Good heavens. But the question is, you've had a tremendous number of changes over the past, 12 months? 14 months?
Since last April, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not this past April, but the April before. So it's been, going on 2 years.
Going on 2 years, okay. But just a tremendous number of changes. Looking for a new place. And you're open to looking elsewhere, even.
I am. Mm-hmm.
So one of my questions to you is, let's just suppose that you found a place that you absolutely fell in love with, but it was in, well, let me pick someplace, Mississippi.
Okay.
Okay. you said that you're a realtor, and I'm going to guess that you need to carry something along with you from a job standpoint. I don't know that the realtor is the same in Washington as Mississippi. It's not, doesn't cross all state lines. I'm assuming it's not.
It's licensure by state. Some states you just have to take a law exam. Other states you have to take the whole course, but that's no big deal. I would blaze through that. I've been doing this since 2004.
So is that what you would plan on doing? I guess kind of that's where I was going with this. Is this something you're just gonna pick up your real estate company and march around with it, or?
Well, part of what I do as a real estate agent, I mean, I help regular buyers and sellers, but I also work with foreclosures. So most of my contacts are with national companies.
Oh wow! Okay.
And so that's something I can take with me. Also, you know, I mean, you hear about. I'm not going to advertise for some of these big real estate websites, but I give them my data and my listings for free, and then they sell leads back to me.
Okay.
And so I can pay for that anywhere in the country.
Okay, that's neat. All right.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I would like to retire too. I was actually supposed to retire for my birthday this year, but that didn't work out because of my life changes. But the life changes were my choice.
Well, Angela, you look so young. You've got at least another 20, 30 years before you're going to look like you need to retire.
Yeah, and I want to have some fun. I don't want to work all the time because I tend to do that. I tend to worky, and then work some more in the garden, then work some more in the kitchen.
Okay.
But I want to have some fun.
Okay.
So I was thinking I might cut back on work a little bit.
Are you looking more? And where I'm going with this, is this something you would be looking to get an undeveloped homestead, or something that's like a turnkey, where you buy the place and it's all set up and you got barns and garden and pastures, and are you looking for just maybe vacant land? Maybe you can build a house.
I probably wouldn't want to start vacant land again. I've done that before. You know, something with some fruit trees in, maybe at least some semblance of a barn. Like I've got stalls out here that work really well for the livestock.
I got a place with a elderberry orchard and everything.
On my own.
I think Kyle said something about Kyle, you said you have someplace?
Oh, I was just saying, our place we're getting ready to sell, it goes with a 60-plant elderberry orchard.
And 2 broken sinks.
Yeah, at the moment it does have a broken sink, but that'll be fixed tomorrow.
I know how to fix that.
There you go.
Yeah, I just posted a video of me changing the faucet in the RV because so many people who know me think I don't know how to do stuff like that. My first job, and usually people don't know this, my first job was in construction, working for my father's construction company. And he taught me all kinds of things, including roofing, flooring, plumbing, minor electrical, all kinds of things. So I'm quite capable of remodeling a home on my own.
You sound like you would be a great neighbor to have.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like doing stuff like that.
Sounds a lot like
And you're
Tasha.
still
She
single?
actually,
What, Jason?
I do a lot of remodeling for the foreclosures that I represent. I don't do the work myself, but I oversee construction when they fix them up. That's part of what I do for the foreclosures, for the banks.
Okay, and we have another caller here, so let's let him into the
Do
room.
you have like 4 legs or something? Because I'm trying to figure out why you're still single.
Oh, I don't let anybody tell me what to do and what to say.
There you go.
Okay, so
I'm a serious sister for real.
But
all right, we have and with
perfect answer.
with that we have another caller. So this is
I'm
Daryl.
just wondering how that's
Who's
different
calling,
from any
please?
other wife, so.
This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
It's Terry, City Girl Country Heart.
Oh, you got your phone back.
buddy.
Hi, Terry.
David.
And Terry, well,
You
you're
just
in the
let
room.
anybody in here.
We have another caller that I'm also going to let in the room here. This one is coming from overseas.
Exactly, Terry. I knew
I
it.
knew it.
I knew it. Okay, let him in.
Still background checks or something.
Okay, so just to get the count on the people here, we have Kyle, we have Jason from Big Bear Homestead, we have Darren from Down Under, we have Terry from City Girl Country Heart, all on the phone. And Angela, you
what a
can
crowd.
you can
Terry.
elect to talk to any of them or none of them, whatever you'd like to do. I'm not telling you. I'm not suggesting anything. You've made that perfectly clear. You are your own decisive person, and I respect that.
Hey, I'm the only fan
I asked
here.
Big Bear if they planted the garlic I sent them a couple years ago, and if they kept any for seed. I sent them 5 varieties of garlic
Who did you send it to?
to Big Bear.
Oh, Jason.
Jason,
What?
She said she sent you garlic. Did you plant it?
I planted everything at garlic that. Oh, I didn't plant anything. Robin did.
Yeah, Robin's the hard work.
I'm not even allowed to look at the garden. So, but okay. So wait a minute. See, that's a surprise to me because, and that's starting to make puzzle pieces fit in nice and steady now. So I'm assuming that the garlic that you're in reference to is the one that we replanted this year.
Okay.
Because we planted
Garlic.
some special garlic. So I'm throwing up air quotes like y'all can see me. and then we planted the stuff from Baker Creek. So you must have been the special garlic.
He's struggling there waiting for
I
Robin.
sent you some red garlic, German, French, Spanish. You guys made fun of me because
Yes,
I sent you some Armenian garlic. And
Yes,
Elfin
I
garlic.
remember that now. You gotta. I mean, you see who I hang out with that's in here. So
Hey now.
Me
Yes,
and Terry
thanks.
are the only same ones in here besides Angela.
yes,
Hey.
I think we did, and I think we replanted them. They're in the water trough thing now.
And I was going to ask you that if you planted that elephant garlic, I would love a few of those sent back to me when you harvest, because those I did not take seed when I left, but I did manage to get some of the rest.
Okay.
So if you guys are still growing the elephant garlic, that's the giant ones.
Yeah. That.
That's
Sure, make sure
lovely.
you
Back.
write
Yeah,
that
you got
down or tell Robin or something,
Yes, dear.
because I'm gonna forget.
Yes, dear. Because that way I can tell her I need some starts also.
Yeah.
Well, we've never tried to grow garlic.
Oh, really? Oh, I love my own
You can't even
homegrown.
spell garlic.
I'm getting ready to
At
plant mine
least I
this
can
week.
still milk.
well, garlic is very easy to grow.
Yeah. Well, here it is. Yeah. I
At
mean,
least
you
what's here, yeah, because what we planted.
get a hole, stick a little thing in it, and let it go for the winter.
Yeah, we use a garden dibble.
Yeah.
I'm going to try growing some in the spring. I don't know if they'll grow or not, but I'm going to try.
I would think that right now is the time
Not
to
gonna grow
plant it.
here, Terry. You need to get your garlic in now.
Yeah, get your
That
garlic.
Yeah. Power curve a little bit.
2 years ago,
Way south
and you're
like
growing
Florida.
celery.
Yeah, it
You
has.
might want to put it in when it's cool.
Yeah, it has to. It does great over winter here because of the cold.
Yeah.
So, Daryl, would you like to put your dibble in the dirt? Is that
You
what you're
betcha. Yeah, the garden.
Right after he gets
Daryl
done cooking the chicken.
Daryl, just stay out of that one.
You just
Daryl, just go right over that one. I'm telling you.
You just take that dibble and you
God.
prod it into the dirt and insert that.
Dingle, dangle, dangle in the dirt.
And then you
Dan,
take
do you need?
you take that clove and make sure it's the right side up and drop it down into that hole and gently
That's
cover it
what
up.
she said.
Oh, God. I'm keeping my mouth shut on this one.
Do you need to make sure it's moist before you put your dibble in?
Oh, God.
Daryl, paybacks. I'm telling you, paybacks. God, you get this group together and it goes downhill really fast.
So, Angela, have we scared you off
Hey,
yet?
Nope.
after some gardening questions, I'm a team captain now.
You're team captain. Oh, this is Esther's first time planting garlic. Planted it last week. What state are you located in, Esther? I love homegrown. Oh, she's in Maryland. Oh, then it's perfect then.
Yeah.
Emma, you probably don't know what you walked into. Especially
We don't even know and we're here.
Especially with the 4 that we have on the phone.
I have a question for Angela.
Go ahead.
Of all the things you grow, what is your favorite thing to grow, and what haven't you grown yet that you want to?
Wow. I'm always trying something new that I've never grown before. I think peas are my favorite because they're the first thing to go in the garden. Here in Washington State, we plant peas on President's Day, so long as you can work the ground. But yeah, I've grown everything from artichokes to all kinds of squash to, some Asian things. I just love growing everything, really. I could feed an army. I have to really kind of scale myself back, or else I'll grow more than I can keep up with as far as putting it by. I gave away a bunch of produce this year. Every time a friend come to visit me, it's like, here, take some of this, take some of that. But I think my favorite is I grow a salsa garden in my greenhouse. I grow the hot peppers, the tomatoes, the onions, and the garlic, well, outside the greenhouse. But yeah, I like to grow salsa, the makings for salsa.
Cool.
Oh, cool. And next year I plan on I've looked at several different YouTube channels and different designs of like chicken tractors and greenhouses, and I picked 2 excuse me.
COVID.
No. Weather. I picked 2 tractors that I like, and I'm going to combine the 2 together, and I'm going to build my own. And
you go, girl.
Hopefully, come spring, I'm going to build myself a small greenhouse. I'm getting pallets next week. I'm trying for 10 pallets. I'll see if they can do it. And I'm going to, during winter, on nice days, I'm going to start building some raised beds so I can plant like pole beans and dry beans and stuff like that next year.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that'll be great.
That's the video I'm working on right now. Is I just assembled a prefab, polytunnel greenhouse. Boy, I've got to cut so much out of that. I'm trying to make it short enough to upload. It says on there it's a 2-man job, but I did it all by myself. So,
but it ended up being a 1-woman job. There you go.
Oh, here it
One
comes.
woman's equivalent to 2 men, isn't it?
1 woman?
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes more than 2. Sometimes more than 2 men.
It takes the army of women to keep 1 man straight.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with some of the ones I know.
Jason's just rolling his eyes. Especially since he lives with 3 of them.
I know.
The whole reason that the good Lord made women have to go through childbirth is so that way y'all know what it felt like when we got a fever.
Yeah, but that don't ever change. You never grow up.
Why would we want to do that?
Heard that.
And grown-ups overrated.
And I know you're not advocating that women grow up. My wife laughs her head off if you say the word poop.
I know.
Or doo-doo.
She can be flat out fussing at me about something I did, and I can look at her dead in the face and go, boop.
And she's done for.
And it's all over.
I can testify she is done for. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Downright rolling on the floor laughing. Mm-hmm. Yes, she is.
So I don't want to hear nothing about growing up.
So, Angela, are you anywhere near the Yakima Reservation area?
Could you repeat that, please?
So, are you anywhere near the Yakima Reservation?
Yakima is a good 3 hours away.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I used to haul a lot of tobacco shelters in there, or grind shelters in there, as I was back when I was truck driving for a living.
Right. They do a lot of military training out that direction.
That's about the only area of Washington State I've ever really spent much time in. So.
Mm-hmm. I've been that way a few times. Where I live is very, very green. Actually, my weather is very, very similar to, say, Britain and Wales. I know Liz Zorab over and Tony over in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
My weather is like usually a week behind them. So if they throw something in the ground, they're a week or two in front of me.
So you got weather like Charles Dowding. I follow Charles Dowding all the time, and so you pretty much got weather like him.
Yes.
Because he's in the UK.
Lots of rain. But it stays
The whole
fairly
country
warm.
over there is very green.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Angela, I spoke over you. The whole country over there is very green.
Tacoma.
Hey, too, but I'm gonna have to jump off here. I got to get ready for bed. Got to get to work early in the morning.
He's lying. He's going to go get some milk.
Take care, Kyle.
I've had my milk for the night. I might have one more swig before I go to bed, though.
Yeah, gotta have that. Gotta have that last quart before he goes to bed.
Miss that gallon.
Hey, this time of year, a gallon of milk has lasted me a good 2.5, 3 days. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. He go to bed dreaming about milk. That boy has milk dreams.
Now, if you look back, I don't know if it made any of our videos when we were milling in the summer, back when it was 105 degrees. Yeah, I had a gallon of milk in my cooler sitting next to the mill.
Okay, well, Kyle, thank you so much for spending some time with us here this evening and calling in. And always good to hear from you, and we thank you for doing that.
Hey, we'll talk to y'all later.
Talk to you later, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye-bye.
So how far are you from Tacoma?
Tacoma's about 45 minutes to an hour north, depending on traffic. That's usually the airport. If I were to fly somewhere, that's usually the airport I take off from.
That's where my first wife is from.
Okay.
Up around there.
Yep, I spent a great deal of time working up the Olympic Peninsula as well, between Olympia and Fort Angeles area. I do a lot of real estate business up and through that direction. I work 7 counties. So I kind of get around.
Angela, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like to talk about here this evening?
Well, I guess if any of you, and I know some of you have been subscribers of my channel for a long time, and I wanted to apologize. When I did go through this breakup, my attorneys told me that I could not publish anything to social media.
Yep.
And then because, certain parties were not happy with me leaving, that dragged out for quite a while. And so I wanted to apologize for not posting more videos. And then since this whole thing we're not allowed to say on YouTube has happened all over the world, I've been so busy with real estate. I think I've been busier than I ever have, in fact, because people want to move away from whoever they're living with. Because everybody's home all the time now. Out of the cities into the country now. And so I posted 2 videos last week. I'm working on the greenhouse video where I assembled the greenhouse. I would like to do more. I really would. So I just want to apologize to everybody for having to take that sudden break and really not making much explanation as to why that was. But it's been a great move for me. I'm so much happier with what I'm doing now, with my life now. I feel younger. I look younger. I lost 40 pounds without even trying. My life has just improved so much. And I would like to start making more videos if anybody wants to see them. So feel free to send me suggestions on things you'd like me to make videos about, like the making of the fresh mozzarella, or
No, see,
that'd be nice.
I used to
Some
say
wine
I used
making?
to say I lost 300 and some pounds.
yeah.
Yeah. You know where I'm
I used
coming
to
on that
say
one.
My first husband, I used to say I lost 165
There you go.
pounds, and his name was.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I really lost him now. He died this year, which is so sad for my children. And, you know, truth be told, I miss him because we've remained friends all these years. But, you know, that's that. Yeah.
Gosh, it got quiet.
Yeah.
That was the wrong link. that
Yeah,
you
Darren,
put up.
I realize I'm grabbing it right now. Yeah, that was a channel that geesh. Yep, there we
Angela,
go.
where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, I'm focused. I do have retirement income. I do have some rental properties that I have rented out. And so I do see myself at least semi-retiring, and also with having another main homestead and potentially a vacation home as well. Those are goals that I would like to get back. But as far as that goes, I'm just sort of playing it by ear for now, just doing what I enjoy and, you know, sucking away my change in order to get the changes that I'm looking for. And actually, in just, you know, in about a year and a half, I've come really a long way in that. It's amazing how much money I have now that there's no one else wanting to spend it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Question
The
here.
problem is I'm
Do you grow outside of the high tunnel and greenhouse?
Oh yeah, I have let's see, 10 raised beds, and then I also plant in pots for certain things too. And no, wait, I built 3 new raised beds this year, so I have 10 raised beds that were already on the property, and then I built a long, thin, 4-foot wide raised bed down the middle of those. Plus, I have 2 more inside the polytunnel. So I do a lot of raised bed gardenings. We have really rocky soil here. We call them yelm potatoes because they're rocks. You dig and you just find more rocks. And so, yeah, I bought in compost, some organic compost, and set that all up here. So that, yeah, I grow outdoors, indoors, in the greenhouse. Wherever I can grow something, I'm growing something because it makes me happy.
Cool.
That's one thing about gardening is whatever effort you put into it, you actually yield a result very equal to your effort. And so it's a two-way relationship, but you're the best kind.
Yeah.
see, I need someone to watch my spending because I spend money.
That's something I've always been really good with. Ever since I was a young child, I always, wanted to have some put by for things because, well, I do kind of have extensive taste. And so when I do want to splurge on something, I want to be able to have the money to do that.
There you go. Homestead Paradise is asking, where do you see your vacation home being located?
Anywhere where I can look out the front window and see the water, or the back window and see the water. I love being on the water, near the water. I don't like going under the water, except for in a swimming pool, preferably heated. But
Well,
yeah,
ideally, you
anywhere I
don't
can
want
see
your
the
home to
water.
have a view under the water.
What, Darren?
Ideally, you don't want your home to have a view under the water. That's generally a bad thing.
That would be a bad thing.
I think they have a
Unless
hotel or
it's not
something that
so-
actually, glass under the water somewhere. I thought that would be a cool place to sometime.
Okay, and we have another caller, so let him in the room here. This is Daryl. Who's calling, please?
Tetler.
Well, Pepper, how you
The
doing?
Rusty Pepper.
How you,
I'm blessed beyond measure.
so you
I am.
you are on the air, so just go ahead and say what's on your mind.
All right. Angie?
Hey,
Hey. Hi, Sherry.
How are you?
I am blessed beyond measure.
Did you have a question for Angie?
Yes, I do. What kind of plants can you plant in big pots?
I do almost all of my herb gardening in big pots. Sometimes I grow peppers in big pots because you can bring them in and overwinter them because peppers are actually a perennial. Things like that. I grew fruit trees for 2 years in Rubbermaid bins, and they actually produced pears and apples. And yeah, so anything can get started in a pot.
What about tomato plants, like the ones that are like medium from small, not the cherry, bigger than the cherry, to beefsteak?
I actually prefer, I did an experiment this year in my polytunnel, all conditions being the same, watering them the same, with the raised beds and in the same conditions in a pot, a 3-gallon pot. And the ones that were in the raised bed did so much better. And so tomatoes are not something I'm going to be growing in pots ever again. I mean, I might put it into like a Rubbermaid bin if I were stuck without proper garden. Just, I find that them having more room for their roots and, more nourishment, because I'm an organic gardener. So without having to constantly fertilize, I think, growing tomatoes in pots, it's harder work to keep them looking healthy. So the raised beds, I feel, are better for that. But,
I
anything
live
that
in an
has a smaller
apartment
root
complex.
Yeah, let me just kind of jump in here for just a moment. For those of you that do not know Pepper, she's our age. She's older, and she also is in a wheelchair and lives in an apartment complex. So her gardening is going to probably be restricted to pots
Right.
and things like that. So, and I'm sure she's trying to gather some information here. And
Yeah, Rubbermaid bins, Rubbermaid totes.
Also
for you?
cloth grow bags. Mama Z, who was also in Texas and a neighbor of yours pretty much. She lives in an apartment, and her entire garden was container garden, grow bags, and she did wonderful, and they're still growing. So yeah.
Well, I know I've got.
I'd love to meet up with her and get some ideas and maybe be able to do that, because it's something I could do and put on my channel even.
Right, exactly.
Well,
I've got potatoes growing in grow bags, also in 5-gallon buckets. The little garden beds, my beans and spinach and kale are growing in. They're not much bigger than that. So there's plenty of options there.
It has been so many years. It's been like 30 years since I had a small homestead and with sheep and a garden. But it's been 30 years, and it kind of is a little difficult for me to do something, but I try it. I'll try anything to help myself and my neighbors.
Most of my learning how to garden has been just one experiment after the other, and I think that is where some of the best gardeners come from, is just doing what you can and just trying new things and seeing what works for you. Well,
I have grown tomatoes in a what it's like a huge, about 20 inches across pot that you put house plants in, or a tree. And I put a tomato plant in there, and it grew huge. I had to have somebody else harvest the top because it went past 6 feet.
Wow.
But I know tomatoes are the only thing out there, you know. So
Peppers do
I
really
don't
well
know
in
anything
pots.
else. I've been, so confined for a while that I need to know. I'd like to know what I can grow in a pot like that.
The best
I'd
way
say
to
try
do it
anything you like.
is give it a try.
People told me I was crazy for putting pear trees and apple trees in a Rubbermaid bin. They grew.
So see, you just made my thoughts, because I was thinking crazy, because I want to try growing figs and grapes and some apple trees, some other fruiting trees in containers, or build something and grow it in that. Because I rent where I live, and I have a lot. I'm limited on space, so having it in containers would be better for me.
Terry,
Yeah.
a fig will grow in a crack in the pavement.
I know. My neighbor's fig tree is like 20 feet wide by like 20 feet high, and it looks like a mushroom in his backyard. When he trims this tree next couple of weeks, I'm getting a bunch of cuttings.
Yep, slide them off in a container for sure.
Oh, I will.
I got the complex I live in has a peach tree. It's been planted 5 years ago, and it's just now starting to produce small peaches, but they're good.
It's like my neighbor's brother. The way he acts is like he's got autism, like my daughter does. But the man's got green thumb like you wouldn't believe. We have bushes around here, flowering bushes. It's called a Confederate rose. It blooms white but turns pink. And his brother told him, he goes, because I'm going to be getting some cuttings. He goes, put it in a bucket of water. Don't ever change the water all winter. Just keep adding to it, whether how green it gets. And in the spring, plant them. And he's done that the last 2 years, and they're doing awesome.
Oh, wow.
I would have thought they'd die, but he said, no matter what, just add water to it when it starts getting low, and it'll do great when you plant them. And they have. His yard is so full of trees and bushes. You can hardly walk through his yard without getting hit by a tree.
Honey's a good rooting compound too. You dip the cutting into honey and then plant it in the ground.
Oh,
Where's
I
the
can try
echo?
that.
Yeah, honey's great for the rooting.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well,
Angie,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Angie, what kind of food could I grow in pots like that other than a tomato?
Pretty much anything that you could think of that doesn't, I mean, you'd have to just mind what your root system looks like. Just monitor your root system. Like, say, even these basil plants behind me here, if they start looking like they're getting wilted and not recovering, then I just pull them out of there, cut some of the roots off, add some more soil and put them back in. They need to have room for those roots to be growing. So anything in pots with a limited space, you just want to really keep an eye on your roots. You know, pop them out of the pots upside down gently and check on your root system from time to time. And you can basically grow just about anything in pots.
Yeah, Misty, who was Mama Z's Texas Kitchen, she had peppers, tomatoes, green beans. Help me, Misty. What, Jason? What I forget what I mean. I tipped my tongue, and for some reason, my mind just went blank.
Peppers?
Oh, I said peppers. I mean,
Yeah.
she grew whatever you grow in a regular garden. She grew in her grow bags.
Okra?
I don't know if she had
Trouble.
okra or not.
I'm just throwing
Yeah.
veggies out there on the table.
He's throwing out the vegetables he can spell.
Yeah, she did grow okra. The one that I don't plant, he threw out. Yep. Yep.
Sherry, I got a quart size, almost a gallon size Ziploc bag. You can have some okra seeds.
Thank you, but I won't use them. I don't eat okra.
So I was about to throw a hissy fit if you was going to take okra from her and you didn't take my seed.
I don't eat okra. Nope. I would grow it for the flowers, but that would be it.
Okay.
Oh, see, Misty said squash. Yeah, anything. Yeah,
Okay.
anything.
I like
Oh,
picking the
Mama.
okra off the plant and eating it.
All right. Well, folks,
Mama,
folks.
see, I love blackberries.
All right, folks. We've been on now for well over an hour. I think we're going to get the stream itself shut down here. However, those of you that are on the phone, and Angie, of course, you're in. You guys will still all be connected for a little bit longer afterwards here. Any last thoughts that you'd like to share with the folks that are still watching that are outside here? I'll just start with Darren.
As far as gardening, get out there and try it. You never know unless you give it a go.
Okay, Terry.
Don't give up on your dreams. No matter how big your dreams are, if you got it in small scale, do it because it'll work.
Yep.
Okay, Pepper.
Is anybody who can give me a helping hand on doing that, get in touch with me somehow.
Okay, and
I think Daryl can help.
okay, and Jason.
We saved the best for last.
Of course.
No, well, that's why Angie is going last, Jason.
Oh, Lord.
But drop. Didn't see that one coming. No, I concur with what everybody else says. Just get out there, put some seed in the dirt, follow your dreams. You know, if you want to have chickens, have chickens. Forget what the HOA says.
Just forget it.
And just make sure you choke them properly.
There you go. You got to make sure you grab a hold on your shoulders. Angela, hit us with an email to let us know which of the varieties that you wanted to get back, and then I'll have. Because I think you sent us a bunch, didn't you?
I did. I sent you guys a boatload.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Robin's here's some TMI. Robin's in the bathtub right now, so I was texting with her, and I'm like, hey, she's the one who sent us all that garlic. And Robin was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I forgot who all that garlic came from. So it wasn't just me having a memory lapse.
Okay, Angela.
So,
any last thoughts you wanna share out here?
One done talking?
Yeah, he's still going, Daryl.
Oh, he was still going?
He was still going.
No, forget about it. No, Angela,
Well,
what you got to say?
I told him, I said, he's not going away. We're still connected. But go ahead, Jason. I'm
No,
sorry. I did not mean to interrupt you, sir.
No, I'm done. I'm used to
He
getting
was busy
interrupted.
trying to shift blame.
Okay, Angela, your turn.
I would say that, I agree with the follow your dreams, get some seeds, just shove some seeds in and see what you can do with that. I work 6 days a week. I planted my entire garden with a broken leg this year. I hobbled out there with my crutches, with my little backpack full of seeds, sat down, scooted about just to get it done. And I figured if I just plant something every day, just one thing every day, that things, I would at least get some little bit of a garden. But I got boatloads. I've just boatloads of fresh produce. And I still have more to harvest with my fall crops. You know, just try not to make it look too big. Just tick off one little thing at a time. Do what you can. Go little by little. You know, do plan for the big picture, but just chip off one little thing at a time, one little task at a time, and you'll get there.
Sherry? Sherry's just shaking her head.
No.
All right. Well, folks, we've had a great time here tonight. Next week, Duncan 1900 Homestead will be our guest. So be sure to.
That's going to be the fun one.
That's going to be a fun one.
Wasn't she there this weekend, Jason?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so,
and we were licking fences
I
and
knew-
windows and
I knew it.
okay, so Duncan 1900 Homestead will be our guest next week. And folks, just remember, just keep this in your thoughts. Rumors are
you
carried.
can't hold your nose and hum at the same time.
Rumors are carried by haters, spread by fools, and accepted by idiots. With that, have a nice evening.